The story that I'm just about to tell is not specifically the heritage of one culture or civilization. However, the most celebrated person who has ever related this tale is Rumi, who is without doubt, in our modern times, a great name known for wisdom and vast knowledge of the world, both material and spiritual. Rumi narrates that in the olden times there was a merchant who had a parrot. He loved the parrot, but thought that the parrot would fly away if he let him loose. He kept the parrot in the cage, and although he gave him a lot of affection and love, still he managed not to feel comfortable with seeing him free. The parrot was unhappy. Once the merchant decided to travel to India. He asked everyone if they wanted anything as souvenirs to be brought back by him for them. They mentioned each something that they had heard India was famous for. When it was the parrot's turn, he said, "Can you go to the forests in India, and when you see the parrots over there flying freely, can you give them my message of greeting and tell them that my parrot, who is in a cage, asks you whether or not it is just or fair for him to be confined here whilst you are free over there?" The merchant traveled and completed his business. Then, to fulfill his promise to the parrot, he went to see the Indian parrots that were in the forests. When he went through the forest, after seeing many other types of animals, he spotted the parrots at some point and realized that the parrots were in the state of meditation on the tree branches. He said to them, "Please forgive me for disturbing your peace. I would like to ask you a question as I am coming from a faraway land." The parrot said, "Please do ask us. We will not be greedy with our answers. We will offer you generously the knowledge that is being given and bestowed upon us by the nature." So the merchant asked his own parrot's question as whether or not it was just or fair that he should be confined in his cage whilst the Indian parrots were free to roam around and enjoy themselves. He had also asked, "How could I achieve salvation?" The parrot had asked, "How could I attain peace of mind and satisfaction of freedom?" Upon listening to this question, the Indian parrots did not answer, but instead, the merchant noticed that the parrots were lying down on their backs on the branches and getting gradually motionless and die. The merchant felt that something in his question triggered such a disastrous result that was causing the parrots to lose life. The merchant, regretful and sorry about what he had done, went back to the city, packed and immediately departed for his own land. At his arrival, he handed over all the souvenirs that he had obtained for his loved ones and when faced with the question by his own parrot as what souvenir he had brought him, he narrated the story of the parrots that he had met in the Indian forest. The parrot reflected on this a little bit, and then fell on the floor of his cage and became motionless, stiff, and lifeless. The parrot died. The merchant was horrified and devastated because he had caused the death of those beautiful Indian parrots, and now he was responsible for the death of his own parrot. He ordered the body of his parrot to be put outside the cage with respect in preparation for his burial. When outside the cage, the parrot shivered a bit, found life again, and flew away. As it seems to be obvious by now, this story is metaphoric, and those parrots are meant to symbolize other things and values. The first point that one can conclude and one can clearly see is the unique position of Hindustan, i.e. India, as a place of wisdom, a place where there exist and existed people of unique and profound insight to life. There are now thousands of people from around the world who take the effort to travel to India in order to seek a sort of knowledge that they think they cannot find elsewhere. And this has been the case for thousands of years. The second point of interest is that the merchant was sent to seek the knowledge not in a university or an institution of higher education or research, but rather it was the bosom of the Mother Nature that was the place to which he was sent and he was asked to go. This is a place where the true wisdom can be found and sought. Another point of interest again here is the type of advice that the parrots gave, which is the sort of thing that you can expect from India, a land that had struggled and has struggled for liberation and tried to do so and has tried and have been trying to do so without harming others. A land that attempted to set itself and others free without inflicting damage on anyone. This struggle that led to azadi, or freedom, made the nonviolence principle and approach a familiar term around the world. Another point of significance that one can infer is of spiritual significance, and it is a lesson that is coming loud from the East, or particularly from India, from all those philosophies and religions that have emerged there, is the message of trying to lose the self-centeredness, narcissism, excessive vanity, and self-worship. Death in this story represents the death of self-adoration and denying others. The message here is that as long as you see yourself as the entire world and nothing else matters to you, you will not attain salvation or peace of mind. But rather, if you dedicate yourself to the service of nature and to the service of fellow beings, trees, animals, and those people who are in need, then you will stand a chance of gaining your own freedom and salvation. Another message again here is that sometimes a selfish love can take away your ability to achieve contentness that comes through freedom. The merchant's love of the parrot put the parrot in the cage of bars and doors, and put him himself in the cage of an agonizing strife in his conscience, as he imprisoned a creature that he loved. These are all messages that one can see through this story, and these are very loud messages that we have had throughout the history from this land of the blessed people, Hindustan.